Welcome to day two of your personal brand challenge. So, I'm hoping that you have just set the tone for this and have made a decision to set aside time for your challenge and to set aside time to show up for yourself. Before we actually get into this, I just want to also just explain the thinking behind day one and the additional resources that I also sent through. A lot of us are really great at showing up when it comes to other people, right? We're great at showing up for meetings, showing up for appointments, we're on time. If we're late, we're not more than 10 to 15 minutes late, I'm hoping. But essentially, what I'm pointing at is that when it comes to appointments with ourselves, or when it comes to meetings with ourselves, or things that we have said we will do for ourselves by ourselves, some of us aren't really that good at that, right? So there's something called an honor system with yourself, and that's what that essentially speaks to. It just basically says that you need to have integrity, and you need to honor yourself, right? You need to show up for yourself in the same way in which you show up for other people. And if you set a goal, or if you decide that you're going to do something, do it in the same way in which you would if another person was involved. So that was really the heart behind day one, just getting you into thinking about that, why you actually need to show up for yourself. And we often think about it in the moment like, oh, okay, I said I would do this, but I just didn't. Or I said I would write this blog, but, I actually just didn't. In the moment, it just feels like we've just not done something that we said we would. But in the long run, what can happen is that you start to lose confidence in yourself. And it's something that happens gradually, right? So if I have a goal, let's say, of maybe I want to start writing for a magazine or whatever publication, right? And I decide that, okay, I want to start writing for publication. So I need to actually start practicing my writing right now, and I need to start publishing it onto maybe a platform like LinkedIn, or onto my own blog, to show other people that I can write and that I'm actively trying to write. Let's say that I will, in a 12-week period, write a blog every second week, but then I don't do it, right? Or maybe I do it the first time, the second time, then I kind of drop off on the third time, but I still have that goal that I want to start writing for a publication. So if I am feeling a bit anxious about that goal, or if I'm not so confident, which I mean happens, right? You set a goal and you aren't really sure if it's gonna happen or not. Or you set a goal, or you're not, you don't know if you'll reach it, right? Or if you'll attain it. So what then happens is that you still have this goal, but now you haven't made the effort to get there, or you have imposter syndrome surrounding it, whatever it is, right? Procrastination, whatever it is, but you don't do what's needed to actually help you get there. When you then don't get there, the first thing that tends to come up in your mind, or at least in my mind, is that I knew it, like I knew I couldn't do it. So next time I try again, I already have this negative thing, or this negative thought in my mind that's just not going to serve me, right? So in actually showing up, we're essentially trying to start building an honor code and an honor system with ourselves, to say that we are going to be people, you are going to be a person, I am going to be a person that does what they say they will do. And we're going to be people that set those goals, write them down, and actually actively work toward them. Should we not reach them, at least we would have learned something and would have made progress surrounding it, right? So, to get into day two, um, yes. So we're coming back to our big question of, what do you want to be known for? This is a question that I ask everyone. I literally will always ask this in every discovery session. If whether you're coming through for social media marketing, if you're coming in for a content plan, whatever it is, I will always ask, what do you want to be known for? And I've seen that some people will say that, give me answers surrounding their services. Like, maybe let's say you're saying you want to be known for great social media strategy, for example, or you want to be known for great UI design or something. But the thing is with tying what you want to be known for to a specific service is that it limits you. If I had said that I wanted to be known for social media strategy and creating great social media strategies, we would not be here right now, right? Because right now I'm taking on a bit of an educational role. And this is something that I've kind of slightly grown into and I really enjoy it. But if I had put in what I wanted to be known for and made that specific to my services, it would have tied me down and I would have been limited in my way of thinking, right? So you want to think beyond your services, you want to think beyond your offering. What do you want to be known for? How do you want people to feel? When you walk out of a room, like how do you want people to describe you? Think 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what consistent things do you want to be said about you? And about your service delivery, about your conversations, right? So if you are here talking about building your personal brand, that already means that we're working towards something that we will look back 10 years from now and think, wow, like it's been a journey, but there have been constant things that have remained. You've been a person of integrity. You've been a person that's been known to be a thought leader, to always be on top of things, to always be great with just simplifying difficult concepts. And it can be industry related as well, right? The great thing about being a personal brand is that you are a person and you are allowed to evolve. So we are a lot more forgiving, sorry, of personal brands than we are of a business, right? So you can have a mission and grow and evolve, right? And your personal mission will do that as well because it's linked to you. But with your business, you can't today, let's say, start selling tomatoes, then tomorrow you're selling clothes, then tomorrow you're selling, I don't know, internet services, right? But when you are a person, your personal brand is literally linked to your interests, and you want to allow it to be linked to your interests and to grow with you as you learn more. And it is inevitable that you will learn more and grow more, and it's okay for you to also just change your mind about certain things, right? So essentially, um, with that and with not necessarily tying this to your services, I'm just going to give an example of myself. So for me, I have different businesses, different ventures that I work in, but I do one thing, and that one thing is directly linked to my personal mission, right? So like if you've been reading anything that I've been sending or any of my social media posts, I want to help people. I help people bridge the gap between what they want to be known for and who they currently are, right? Um, I will essentially help you build foundations for you to launch your vision off. Now, I do this through the Created Creative, helping personal brands and business brands. I do this through Hive as well. That's something that I've co-founded, and I'm doing the same thing here, right? In Hive, with it's the same work, but for a different group of people. So what that now says is that I have a personal mission, and that personal mission allows me to step into different spaces and still be my authentic self and still drive forward the kind of work that I want to do and still have the kind of impact that I'm working toward having or that I want to have, right? So you want to think as well about like impact. What what mark do you want to leave? How do you want people to think about you? So again, you start to think about things like if you read the testimonial that I put in the last email, a client that years later would say that what we discussed helped them, and that's something that I want to be known for. Whatever work we do, however you encounter me in my work, I want you to benefit beyond the conversation or to benefit beyond the service, right? I want you to think actually 5 years from now, wow, those conversations that we had like actually helped, that helped open up my mind, and now I'm tapping into XYZ. right? That's linked to who I am and to what I want to be known for. And that isn't necessarily tied to a specific service to say, okay, social media strategy or brand strategy or creating a content plan, right? It's goes beyond and it allows me to grow as well. Okay. Then why do you want to be known for this? So again, this allows you to think beyond your actual current services, your current career, your job, whatever it is that you're in as well. Why do you want to be known for this, right? And a lot of the times, a lot of us will be able to serve people drawing from our experiences. So it might be something that you yourself went through, or it might be something that you saw someone else go through and actually thought, actually, I do not want to see another person go through that, or I don't like how I felt when I witnessed my friend go through this. So I'm going to help people in that way, right? Like a secondhand experience. So think about that. Why do you want to be known for this? What happened? What did you see? What did you learn? And write this down, right? So I'm just gonna share on my end why I want to be known for this. So I started my first business when I was 13, and in a nutshell, long story short, um, starting my first business at the age of 13, and then seeing how other people were doing business opened my eyes to the need for people to differentiate themselves. So at the time, we had flea markets. You'd go there and people would be selling the exact same things, exact same price. And I'd always have the question of like, why should I go to this person? Why I don't understand why they would go and get the same things as the next person. How am I now supposed to pick between like how am I supposed to pick, especially if you know people, if you know the people, like if you know everyone that's there, right? And they're all selling the same products. Like why should I come to you over the next person? So that's something that's an interest that developed back then and is something that I'm working on right now, right? So that is my why essentially, and how my journey started. But okay, what are you currently known for? So on this one, you want to actually maybe ask friends, family, ask them what they think you're doing, what kind of work they think you're doing. If you're unsure about this, literally just ask people, what do you think I do? What kind of work do you think I do? Like, what do you think I'm working towards? What do you think I want to achieve? Have some honest conversations and be honest with yourself as well, right? Then, what do you need to start doing? Or what do you need to learn to become the person that you want to be known for? So, this can be anything from a course that you might need to take. So, let's say if you want to start managing projects, you might want to do a project management course just to better understand it, right? Because we don't want to just be big talkers, we want to be able to back what we say we do. We can say all the things, create all the content to help position you to become known for that thing. But we do not want a situation where someone comes to you for that thing you're saying you want to be known for. And then maybe they take on a service or they ask you to come and speak or they ask you to contribute an article, whatever it is, and you can't deliver. That's unacceptable. So we actually need to start making sure that we are at the same time as we are building our brands and building up what we want to talk about, we actually need to start making sure that we can back it. So if you need to take courses, if you need to gain experience, do you need to maybe do some work for a few people and gain the confidence that you need to actually to feel like you can do it and to show up the way that you need to show up, right? Then also what do you need to start doing? What habits do you maybe need to take up? I gave the example of, let's say, having a goal of wanting to contribute to publications, right? If I want to contribute to publications, I maybe need to start writing to improve my craft, and I maybe need to start writing so that I can actually showcase that I am a person that writes and I am a person that could contribute to a publication, right? The great thing about the times that we're in is that we have access to all of these tools that allow us to do all of these things. Literally, we have the tools, right? Um, you can do lives if you want to start speaking. You can start hosting Twitter spaces if you want to start moderating and facilitating. Come up with a topic, do it. You are literally doing what you're saying you want to do, but on your platforms before you get invited to others, right? Um, and that's how people actually find you. Okay, this is going to go a bit over, but essentially that's how people find you, right? So a few years ago, well, not a few years ago, 2 years ago actually, I was invited to contribute to a book. It was called Reset, but essentially the person saw some of my writing and they actually said, look, I'm looking for contributors and I've seen some of your writing on social media. Those social media posts that we write, that's what they saw. Um, and they invited me to contribute and I contributed, and now I can say that I co-authored something or that I contributed a chapter to a published book, right? So you need to use the platforms that you have and just think about what it is you want to start doing and then use your platforms to do it. And the thing is that we will get into this tomorrow, but you want to start thinking about how your stakeholders think about what it is you want to do. So a person that has a publication, a magazine, a person that's looking for writers is going to look for people that are already writing. A person that's looking for speakers is going to look for people that have either spoken or showcase potential to speak. A person that's looking for a guest for a podcast, I'm just using examples that I've encountered, right? We'll look at the caliber, like, are you putting out work? Are you showcasing your work? Can we have a conversation? How, like, you, they need to look at your profile and actually see, actually, I could have a conversation with this person about XYZ because they seem to be interested about these topics, right? So just again, think about what you need to start doing and what you also need to stop doing as well. So, what you need to stop doing is in line with maybe topics that aren't necessarily within your interest. So, maybe if you are taking on all kinds of work, because we get it, when you're freelancing, you can take on a lot of work, right? But maybe you need to stop talking about the kind of work that you don't want to get. So it's not saying that you don't take it on, right? So you can still take on editing jobs if that's something that you're just taking on, but you don't necessarily enjoy it. You can still take on whatever kind of job, right? But just don't talk about them because you will be known for what you share. People will pick up on your interests based off what you're sharing, right? So, what do you need to stop doing? Do you need to stop sharing something? Do you need to stop being inconsistent? Um, what is it? And this can literally be anything from maybe negotiating, allowing people to negotiate you down too low, or maybe it could even be something to do with your thoughts, your thought patterns as well. It could also be something to do with the way that you're presenting your work. You're saying that you want to be the go-to in your industry, but your work ethic isn't great. You're saying that you want to be the go-to in your industry, but maybe your customer service isn't great. Your customer journey isn't great. People just don't feel like they're being treated well when they work with you. You don't have a good onboarding system. You don't have a seamless system set around your services, right? What do you need to stop doing? So the last two questions are tied, but really think on this and actually write them down and send me an email if you are a bit stuck on the last two, or you can actually just send a DM on LinkedIn and I'll respond on there.